On tonight's CTV News, students at Christ College are assisting Skirt with a major infrastructure project. The CTHB are asking people to take care of each other, and there's much more to the omnipresent road cone than meets the eye. This is CTV News. I'm Grant Mangan. The former Mayor of Christchurch, Sir Bob Parker, has criticised Mayor Leanne Dalzell's hiring of extra staff without consulting ratepayers.
Mayor Leanne Dalzell has come under fire for doubling staff numbers in her office. Former Christchurch Mayor Sir Bob Parker has criticised Mayor Dalzell's decision because of a lack of consultation with ratepayers. The changes are part of a restructure by the Christchurch City Council's acting Chief Executive Jane Parfitt. Figures released to the press under the Official Information Act show the budget has almost doubled. It was just over $380,000 in the 2013 and 2014 financial year. Leading into the 2014 and 2015 year, the budget will be almost $800,000. Mayor Dalzell says the new structure and extra staff will allow her to devote more time to the city. Her offices will be staffed by more people than Dunedin and Wellington combined, but she says she's accepting the blame for not fronting the public about the decision.
A professor at the University of Canterbury has weighed in about the status of heritage buildings and the state of the Christchurch Cathedral in the city.
The 2011 earthquake devastated many of Christchurch's heritage buildings, but a local professor at the University of Canterbury believes more could be done to save them.
We've already damaged our reputation as the guardians of our heritage from an international perspective. We've rejected offers of assistance from international bodies like Blue Shield for reasons that I simply cannot fathom. International experts in heritage conservation offered their assistance following the quakes, and those were just ignored or rejected. And I think the demolition of Christchurch Cathedral would just cap that off, that it would signal New Zealand as being a society that simply doesn't value its heritage.
The Christchurch Cathedral has been under threat of being demolished. Public consultation and legal battles from Restore Christchurch Cathedral and other advocates have fought for it to stay. But so far it's a losing battle. The cathedral will be demolished. With an array of Gothic-style buildings around Christchurch, losing the heart of the city would be a loss.
Now that set is an absolutely extraordinary group of colonial Gothic revival buildings, and the cathedral is a key component of that. If you remove the cathedral, you diminish all the rest of them.
The Christchurch Cathedral was a heritage building, but Dr. Lockwood believes Bishop Victoria Matthews is ignoring its heritage status.
What the bishop rather forgets is that any body that owns buildings such as Christchurch Cathedral has responsibilities because of the heritage character of their buildings.
But the unique position the Anglican Church has found itself in since the earthquake has altered their attitude.
Had we not suffered the earthquakes of 2011, she would still be required to follow the requirements of the city plan. It's only because of the removal of the heritage controls that operate under the Resource Management Act that she's able to take that attitude.
The fate of many Christchurch heritage buildings still remains up in the air, but advocates are still pushing to save as many as possible. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
This Saturday will mark the third year since the earthquake struck Canterbury on the 22nd of February. We've been speaking to communities from all corners of the city 3 years on. Patrick Phelps went west.
Mike Moore is chairman of the Rickett and Wigram Community Board. He says 3 years on, it's still bustling.
We've been the receiving area for a lot since the earthquakes, with the damage to the central city, of course, and the eastern suburbs, and the northern suburbs as well.
Mr. Moore says, with due respect to Hallswell, much of the region did well through the aftermath.
The Hornby hub, that stayed open all through that time, whereas a lot of other malls and retail outlets, of course, were were damaged and shut down for engineering evaluation.
And even now, the bar and pub scene in Riccarton is still pretty big.
A lot of activity in our ward, including Riccarton, of course, which has become the de facto strip for the nightlife and people who want a bit of entertainment. That's been there. So, and of course, there's big developments happening out here as far as residential, commercial and industrial developments.
The Riccarton Wigram Community Board Chair says pre-existing infrastructure has been beneficial in relieving pressure on the area.
We've got to be very thankful for the Southern Arterial Motorway as well, which has been a big help to people not only that live in the west and southwest of Christchurch, but people who want to access the southwest of Christchurch for shopping and business purposes.
He says it's good there's been a strong night scene in Riccarton.
It's given the young people somewhere to go for a bit of entertainment. It has had a bit of a spin-off, but we've got a local alcohol ban in that area.
Mr Moore says though there have been some issues with drunkenness and rowdiness, he doesn't wish to overstate them.
I don't want to make a big thing about that. It is an issue, and it's a real issue, but hey, that was happening everywhere in Christchurch prior to the earthquakes anyway.
Mike Moore says as well as having new affordable housing in the area, he hopes new developments will cater to communities.
For example, Aidenfield subdivision, lovely houses, lovely roads, but hadn't got a coffee shop. So it's just those sort of services that you want. Like historically in the past when we've had major subdivisions, you have the little strip shops that's got the hairdresser and the chemist and the doctor's surgery.
Mr Moore says corner dairies and other services are becoming an endangered species. Patrick Phelps, CTV News.
And we headed out west to hear what people have to say.
We're in the older generation, it will never be the same, and it takes a bit of coming to terms to be quite honest.
Well, we've just been paid out now after 3 years, and we haven't got a drive done yet.
We're fine. Yes, we weren't too badly damaged at all.
Yes, we've had some repairs done, not quite finished yet. Still haven't signed the dotted line yet, not quite happy with a few bits and pieces.
Well, we organised them themselves, I think probably about 8 or 9 months after the event.
Dealing with EQC, trying to get them to even come around and have a look at the place.
Driving around, I think, all the cones, and every time you go down the street exchange, they're blocked off.
Well, now I think they need to improve a lot of the traffic routes because the congestion's really bad.
Probably the roadworks, just feels like it's happening everywhere and not just focused on one place at a time.
Do you have any suggestions for the council on how they can improve?
Yeah, repair the cathedral. Absolutely. Make sure that's a priority. Has to be done, otherwise the city loses its soul.
I think this council are trying their best, and I just hope they keep on trying.
Coming up, the Canterbury Health Board are asking the people of Christchurch to look out for each other.
Arts 21 showcases the vast creative talent and minds that are making a name for themselves in Europe and beyond. Think outside the square with Arts 21. Monday morning at 10:30.
Avoid the cowboys when it comes to relocating. Trust A1 Movers, a family business since 1993 that guarantees a professional job every time. We carefully handle and wrap your valued items, ensuring they have a safe journey. Secure storage and insurance options also available.
A1 Movers, the careful, caring, moving company.
Hey, what's up with you?
Oh, I've got birthdays coming up, I've got bills coming out of my ears, I just don't have the money.
Well, why don't you just go to the pawn shop?
Yes, the pawn shop has a massive selection of rings, watches, car audio, sports gear, heaps of DVDs, digital cameras, computers and musical instruments. They have just about everything.
Sounds good to me. Let's go.
Everything's as good as gold at the pawn shop. 77 Ferry Road and 396 Blenheim Road.
At Lamb & Hayward, we're committed to providing you with the very best environment at your time of greatest need. You can choose from the best facilities in Canterbury, our recently refurbished West Park Chapel, the Kerrs Road Chapel in Eastern Christchurch, or perhaps Waimana Chapel in Rangiora. However you remember, commemorate or celebrate the life of your loved one, whether it's an intimate group or a grand send-off, The choice is yours. Lamb and Haywood, a tradition of caring.
Join me tonight as I talk to the influential people in and around Canterbury and take a look at what's going on in our community. Tonight at 10, Canterbury Live.
Health experts are already warning the fourth year after the Christchurch earthquake will bring new pressures. The Canterbury District Health Board is urging those affected to look after themselves and each other. The message comes as CTV's Rob Cope-Williams openly talks of his feelings 3 years on from an earthquake which saw 16 of his friends killed when the CTV building collapsed.
He's in front of the camera every week. Rob Cope-Williams, television presenter for more than 20 years. But viewers only see a snapshot of what it's like to be Rob. 3 years on from the February 2011 earthquake, life is still not easy. As the third anniversary approaches, the events of 2011 are never far from his mind.
It's never going to go away, and it doesn't seem to get easier, and it does sneak up on you.
Rob was filming his farming show when the 6.3 magnitude earthquake hit, bringing the CTV building down. 16 of his friends trapped under the rubble never made it out. As CTV staff worked to get the station back up on air, Rob fronted the news, but behind the scenes he was sliding into a deep depression.
You don't want to talk about it, you don't want to admit it, you are in denial.
No one saw the signs. On and off camera, Rob seemed perfectly happy.
His trade is to go in front of the camera, forget about everything that happened in the lead up to being in front of the camera and be the face of the cheery face of farming in Canterbury. That's what he does.
It's been a performance when I've been in front of the public, when I've been in front of my parents, when I've been in front of you guys. I'll admit that on many, many occasions I ran away and hid at home, and it would just be a case of it's all too much.
When did you realise something was wrong?
When I couldn't eat, and I didn't eat for over a week, and I spent more time crying than I didn't.
Rob was exhausted and weighed down by stress. It was around this time he started seeing his chiropractor again. Dr. John O'Malley knew something was wrong the moment Rob came into his office.
Dr. John told me that he said, well, you've lost 16 of your close friends and workmates. You're riddled with guilt because you weren't in the building. And I said, but I'm wrapped I wasn't in the building. I'm thrilled. He said, yeah, but 16 of your friends weren't. And you will beat yourself up over that. I guess I did.
The brain's run on a whole series of different neurotransmitters, and if you chew a whole lot of them up to cope in one area, then you don't deal with other things as well. And in time, with Rob, it led to him moving into quite a dark space.
It's hard to tell how many people in the city were badly affected by the earthquakes and how many are still struggling with what's happened. But Dr. O'Malley says at least half his clients have been dealing with post-quake stress. He estimates more than 200,000 people have been affected citywide. As Canterbury approaches the third anniversary of the February 2011 earthquake, disaster psychologists are warning the fourth year will bring new pressures. For people still waiting for damage to their homes to be resolved, life won't be easy for some time yet. High rents, a lack of affordable housing, and various other stresses are not helping. As well as dealing with what happened in 2011, Rob's one of many still waiting for his home to be rebuilt.
For some people, they'll be just fine, and this Saturday's anniversary won't be a big deal at all. And for others, they're really still stuck in the journey to their family's recovery, their own recovery, and that's a really hard place to be.
For nearly 3 years now, Rob has been stuck in that place, but life is slowly getting easier. CTV has been injected with fresh faces. Just 5 of the 11 survivors who rebuilt the channel are still with the station. Filming started on brand new shows. The station is moving forward. It's exactly what Rob needed.
That huge cloud is sort of blowing away, and here CTV is, I think, sort of really just poised, ready to go, and it'll be a quantum leap. It really will. It'll be, and that will be the best tonic I could ever have.
Though he'll never forget the friends he lost or what happened on that day, Rob has his spark back. Now he wants to help others in a similar rut and show them there is a way through. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Road cones are familiar to nearly everyone living in Christchurch through the rebuild. Some people love them, others hate them. one lady has produced a leaflet to help everyone understand them. Patrick Phelps reports.
This is Valerie Livingston's field guide to Christchurch road cones, and they're a diverse bunch.
Different subspecies, of course. There was the ones that were broken and ones that weren't, and ones that had 2 stripes and ones that had no stripes, and it kind of all went a bit crazy.
The many subspecies range from the Atlas to the Taggets and many more. It all came about on one long drive.
2 of us go travelling from one side of the city to the other, and we got detoured around the road cones, and so the journey from one side of the city to the other took on a bit of an adventure, and we started talking about the road cones that we were endlessly encountering, and some of them were in very straight precision lines, very well ordered.
Valerie Livingston says it was all about making the best out of the situation.
It made what could have been a terribly frustrating trip across town quite entertaining.
The library assistant by day, road cone studier by night, says we just need to appreciate the road cone's presence in our city.
If we're going to have road cones in the city, we may as well enjoy them. You know, you can either get cross with them and get angry and kick them into the middle of the street and run them down, or you can look at them from the point of view of, well, something's being done over here, that's good.
Though Valerie Livingston's behind the book, the name on the cover is one Dr. Marty Rhodes.
Who is Dr. Marty Rhodes?
Me. I used to know someone whose nickname was Dusty, his surname was Rhodes, so I thought, okay, we've got to come up with a name that was sort of reflected, hopefully not too insultingly, some of the situations that motorists and pedestrians find themselves in.
Valerie Livingston says it was all about asking herself, what would Sir David Attenborough have done? Patrick Phelps, CTV News.
Well, we liked Valerie Livingston's Cone Field Guide so much, our technical wizards animated the story, and here it is. Road cones have been seen in Christchurch for a very long time. No one knows when they first appeared. However, there are no known sightings of them before European settlement. The natural habitat of the road cone is dry, gravelly soil. They tend to be social and prefer to live in large colonies. However, solitary cones are not uncommon. The road cone's main predator is the University of Canterbury student. In Christchurch, after the earthquakes of 2010 and 2011, the number of predators declined. The amount of dry, sandy and gravelly soils increased, leading to an explosion of the road cone population. We see here a Fulton Hogan cone left behind when the others migrated. It is likely that because of its age it couldn't keep up with the rest of the group. It faces an uncertain future. Road cones like to disguise themselves as garden sculptures or wear flowers in their tops. Once thought to be prolific, the numbers of cones are rapidly diminishing. Over 25,000 disappeared from the streets and paths of Christchurch in the last year. There are fears now that this proud and noble species may face extinction by 2016. And wouldn't that be a loss? Well, still to come, we have the business update with Warren Head.
Be immersed in the unique cultural highlights Germany has to offer every Tuesday night with Discover Germany. Tuesday at 7 p.m, right here on CTV.
Just 20 minutes drive from Christchurch and nestled in the tranquil surroundings of Littleton Harbour is Canterbury's best kept treasure, Living Springs. This hillside paradise offers a diverse range of facilities, flexible accommodation and catering options suitable for any group, from school camps to large seminars. Inspire learning and team building with a range of recreational and challenging activities. Enjoy the breathtaking scenery and leave feeling revitalised.
For all your automotive needs, there's only one place you need to go. Butler Automart have the largest selection of automotive parts and accessories at competitive prices. If you need a part for a new or older model vehicle, come to us. We do our best to source it for you. Check out our website for a full list of products and services. 261 Stanmore Road, Richmond, and 407 Colombo Street.
So if your little motor won't start, best you get your butt down to Butler Automart.
Meet me there in Edgware. Bailey's Bar have reopened in their new location on the corner of Edgware Road and Colombo Street. Bring some friends along and enjoy a great range of top brand ales and our fine selection of wines, coupled with good music and a friendly ambience. The perfect place to start your day or evening out. Come and enjoy the great atmosphere at Bailey's Bar.
My son's helped me greatly with my independence now that I've got more mobility.
Mum, I've been looking into stand assist chairs from More Mobility. They recline back with a footrest, then when you want to get out of them, they stand you up. You can even sleep on them. More Mobility can bring one out for a free trial. There's even electric beds too. What do you think? For more range and more expert advice, see More Mobility, corner Clarence and Princess Streets off Blenheim Road.
What a difference More Mobility makes.
Drive It takes us on a ride to showcase the new arrivals to the motoring sphere, comparing and testing the latest models to discover the best. Drive It, Sunday afternoons at 12:30, right here on CTV.
Here's Warren Head with this week's business news.
Hi, I'm Warren Head from headliner.co.nz. Did I mention that things are looking up? This week we're starting to see the evidence of that coming through with a lot of the big companies in this country reporting their half-yearly earnings, and the trend seems to be upwards by about 7 to 10% for profitability overall, which is a good sign of stable conditions ahead and rising job numbers. The big one that I took a lot of interest in Christchurch was EBOS Group, a $49 million half-year result, taking into account their acquisition of an Australian company called Symbionn last year, a pharmaceuticals distribution business over there. The interesting sidebar to that was that there's going to be a new CEO for EBOS Group around about the end of the year, when Mark Waller, who has led EBOS Group for 30 years, will be stepping out as an executive director to run a big program. I'll tell you about that in a moment. And an Australian based in Melbourne will run the business as CEO. Year's time, Mark will take over as chairman. In the interim, he's going to be running a project about how the supply chain can be improved for all of our district health boards, and it looks like EBOS is the preferred supplier to get them underway with that. In town, the construction side seems to perk up everywhere with good news. Steel and Tube came out and said that their construction is still scheduled to begin this year on the front that they're mostly involved with. So we had some very good news coming through from them about their boost in wire processing and roofing capabilities in Canterbury, and other investments in the reinforcing sector. Skellerup came out with a very big result as well, reflecting the rise in dairy incomes and dairy activity, and they said that construction is still scheduled to begin this year on a new world-class dairy rubberware facility in Christchurch to replace the historic Woolston site that was damaged by the February 2011 earthquake. Tenders for that have just been received and are currently being evaluated. And the biggie, of course, Fletcher Building, out with a whopping $154 million result today, compared with $146 million for the prior period last year. And they also indicated progress on the rebuild. As project manager for the Earthquake Commission in Canterbury, Fletcher Construction has now seen increased activity levels, 50,000 home repairs completed to date out of an estimated total of 72,500, and 48,000 emergency repairs also completed. And the other thing that came through from them was that in Canterbury, they're starting to see the benefit of all those housing consent applications. The latest period for which numbers are available showed the highest level of building consent applications since 2008, and that reflects the residential construction side in this city and elsewhere. So there's a lot happening. It all looks very positive. I'm Warren Head for headliner.co.nz.
If you're driving around the central city, CTV's new traffic update will assist you navigating the repairs taking place.
Hello travellers, several large events are taking place this weekend in and around Hagley Park. To help you plan your journey around the extra traffic, here's some useful tips. On-street parking will be restricted, however parking will be available in Hagley Park North with entry from Riccarton Ave. Entry to the parking area is only accessible heading south on Riccarton Ave from Deans Ave. We suggest approaching Riccarton Ave using the 4 avenues to avoid roadworks through the central city. Park Terrace will be closed between Bailey Ave and Dorset Street on both Saturday and Sunday from 6 p.m. in the evening for the Chinese New Year Lantern Festival in Hagley Park North. To see further information about getting to the events in Hagley Park, check your local Mainland Press paper this week or visit the Transport for Christchurch website.
And finally tonight, your regional weather.
Kia ora and good evening Canterbury. A northwesterly airflow is slowly increasing ahead of a weakening cold front due on Saturday. Taking a look now at the weather for your area. Kaikoura sits on a very warm 16 overnight and a fine warm day tomorrow as well, with a whopping high of 31 degrees with high cloud increasing later on and northeasterly winds dying out. Everyone will be aiming for the cold pool in Hamner Springs tomorrow after a warm 18 overnight, and your Friday will have a high of 34 degrees, so very warm temperatures. Please take the sunblock if you're heading that way. Afternoon northwesterly winds will develop as well. Rangiora and Kaipoi also having a nice warm 16 overnight, then warm northwesterlies are in store tomorrow with high cloud increasing and a high of 31 degrees. Those northwesterly winds will develop later on for you as well. Christchurch is no different with a nice 16 degrees overnight. Warm tomorrow with high cloud increasing and thickening during the day with northeasterly winds dying out and northwesterlies developing in the evening. Your daytime high sits on 31 degrees. Hot Friday ahead in Ashburton as well with a beautiful daytime high of 32 tomorrow. High cloud and gusty northwesterly winds are expected and a warm 16 degrees overnight tonight. And Timaru fine and warm for you as well after 16 overnight with high cloud increasing during the day and northeasterly winds at first but northwesterlies freshening later on. Your daytime high sits on 30 degrees. In other areas now, there will be no need for the extra blankets or heaters tonight as everyone sits between 15 and 17 degrees overnight. Then daytime highs push between 30 and 34 for most. Arthur's Pass and Greymouth on 20 degrees. Having a cloudy start with rain expected in the afternoon. Everyone else starting off fine with a little bit of cloud in the evening. Looking ahead for Canterbury, warm on Saturday with high cloud and sunny periods with north to northwesterly winds and cooler southwesterlies with some low cloud developing on Saturday night. Mostly cloudy on Sunday with a few showers during the morning and fresh to moderate cooler southwesterly winds. So make sure you slip, slop, slap and wrap tomorrow as it's going to be a beautiful day wherever you are. Enjoy it and we'll have another update for you tomorrow.
And that's my kind of weather forecast. That's CTV News. I'm Grant Mangan. Good night.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.